Today I wanted to share with you 4 things that have completely changed my life. Sometimes the things that we do that we find to be life-giving and even life-changing aren't huge. It's not a cross-country move or selling all your possessions and living in, a tent. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything. But for me, some of the things that have changed my life and changed my mood and my outlook have been very simple, small swaps that I made. And so today I wanted to share with you 4 things that I've done that have completely revolutionized the way that I live and my relationships and the way that I parent. So let's go. First, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and let's go. One is to swap the scroll. Y'all, I got straight up convicted by the amount of time I spent looking at my phone, and I really didn't think it was that much until I updated my phone and started using the screen time function. If you guys have an iPhone, I know it's called screen time. On Android, it's called something else, but it will track your screen time and tell you how much time you have spent looking at your phone throughout the day and how much time you've spent on various things. So for me, I've spent 1 hour and 14 minutes looking at my phone. It's fine. It's so late in the afternoon, so it's not been that much today, but it breaks down how much time was spent on what. So how much time was on social media, how much time was reading a book on your phone, how much time was listening, how much time was talking, and you can even set limits for different apps. So for example, part of my job is managing my social media, other people's social media, but I really do have to limit that because I will get sucked into the scroll. And so I've set a time limit, and when the time limit is up, it cuts me off. It kicks me out of those apps. I can go back in and request more time, but for me that feels like failure. Like, I just need a little bit more. I just need a little bit more time. Nope. It kicked me out. I've got to move on. And so we have this bad habit of picking up our phones. And so for me, when I get in that habit of picking up my phone, when I'm going to pick it up to look at Instagram or check YouTube comments, I will instead open the Audible app or the Libby app, which is a free app where you can download books from your library, and I will turn on a book and then put my phone back down and listen. Most of the time when I'm picking up my phone, it's out of boredom. And I really don't have time to be bored. I have too much to do to be bored. And so if I turn on a book or a podcast that's, informational, educational, business oriented, I can kind of fill that need to be distracted for a minute, if that makes sense. I know they say live a life that you don't need distractions from, but sometimes you do need a brain break. And so instead of going on a mindless scroll, I have instead decided to feed my mind with goodness. There's an Instagram account that I do love called The Small Helm, and she talked about how do you clear your mind? How do you clean your mind? And for me, it's by filling my mind with things that are motivating, inspiring, educational, and uplifting. Great podcast that I absolutely recommend if you're looking for something to fill all those gaps is The Next Right Thing from Emily P. Freeman. It is soothing, it is truth-giving, and it kind of opens my eyes to things that I could be doing better, things that my soul needs. I highly recommend it. Also, it'll make you cry. If you are mindlessly scrolling out in public, I actually carry headphones with me, so if I'm mindlessly scrolling out in public, I can pop in my headphones and listen to a book. But if you don't want to do that, you can also read a book on your Kindle app or on the Overdrive app, which is free from the library, and then you have something to do with your thumbs that's not looking at other people's vacation pictures. Number 2, track your spending. So I get a lot of comments from people who talk about, I've cut everything out of my budget and I still can't save money. And I always ask, are you tracking your spending? And there are lots of apps where you can do that. Our favorite is EveryDollar because it's free, but you can also use You Need a Budget, Mint, Envelopes, and then Velopes, and it will help you track your spending, and that way you know where the heck your money is going. And you can do that on your phone instead of scrolling through Instagram. Put in how much money you spent, and then put your phone back down. Number 3, and this one has been huge for me, and that is tracking what you're grateful for. My planner on the weekly spread, and I draw a line down the middle of each day. And on one side, I have my appointments and my to-do lists. And then on the other side, I like to write down things that I'm grateful for and fun things that happened that day. So that way I can look back and remember, oh, okay, well, on this day, Riles told me a really funny joke and Isaac insisted on dressing up like an astronaut to go to the grocery store. I just remember those little things. But I've also intentionally every day decided to write down 3 things that I am grateful for. And y'all, that is life-changing and life-giving. I feel like we get so caught up in the negative. Everywhere we look now, there are negative messages on Facebook. Quit looking at Facebook. In conversations with people, in overhearing conversations with people at the grocery store, in conversations that we have at school or at church or at work. The news, when we listen to the news, even those like snippets of in between songs when they're playing, like, here's what's going on in the world. Oh my goodness, it can be so depressing. And I am not anti-news. I listen to the news every single morning. I read the paper. But there's so much going on and there's so many angry people. I feel like that is all the internet is anymore, is people complaining and being angry. And I want to say, this is something that I had to realize for myself. Lydia, you have enough in your own life to be angry about. Like, you have enough that you need to fix and get angry about in your own life. You don't need to be angry about what's going on in another area. Now, that doesn't mean that we completely ignore what's going on in the world and we don't do anything to stop injustice. That is not what I'm saying. But when you read that a celebrity or a company or whatever tweeted out something that offends you, stop wasting your energy getting mad about that and instead focus on some things in your own area, in your own life that might require anger, and then use that to fix those areas. And so for me, sorry, getting back to what I was saying, writing down just 3 things every day that I am grateful for has helped me see, even in my darkest moments, even as I have gone through some hard stuff, it has shown me all of the different things, all of the different amazing things that I have in my life to be thankful for. And sometimes it's really, really small stuff. But those small things turn into big things. And I feel like if we just took the time every day to practice gratitude and to practice thankfulness, it opens our eyes to everything around us that is going correctly and that is going right. And this isn't even, yes, I am a person of faith, but this isn't even a faith thing or a religious thing. This is something that anyone, regardless of background, can do, is write down 3 things that you are grateful for. And sometimes those things might be my pillow, coffee, chapstick. Like, it might just be very basic things that you're grateful for in that moment. But that shift in perspective and attitude, oh, it's amazing what it can do for you. And then finally, and this is something that I probably should make a video about, but it is taking time every day to brain dump. Okay, I have trouble sleeping at night. I will fall asleep, but then I wake up 14 million times. And sometimes that wake up is, oh my goodness, I need to remember to do this, this, and this. And so I try to just keep a notebook by my bed to help me remember those things. But one thing that helped with that was pulling out my planner or pulling out a piece of paper and just writing down everything that's in my head. My concerns, my to-do lists, my grocery plans, my meal plans, like everything bouncing around in my head. I put it on that piece of paper, and it really helps me to prioritize and see what is important, the things I'm worried about that I can actually do something about, and the stuff that maybe doesn't need so much attention. Because one thing that I struggle with is everything being the same level of importance and not being able to prioritize what needs my time and energy. And that leads to overwhelm with me. I get very easily overwhelmed. And so brain dumping and writing down those lists and those concerns and those priorities has really helped me see what requires the most of my attention and the most of my focus. Okay, so those are just 4 very simple daily tasks that can have such a huge impact and give you back so much time. I would love to know about some little things that you've done to change your life and change your perspective. Leave me a comment below and tell me about it. Also, encourage one another if you see someone struggling in the comments, give them a kind word. That is my favorite thing about y'all, is that you lift one another up, and I really appreciate that about you. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later.